Hey guys, it's Rice Legend, and this is my first kind of walkthrough on one of the builds I've kind of created, and I wanted to just showcase you guys on a build that I've been playing around with and trying some different items. And the mythic item is going to be Divine Sunder. I'm going to show you guys some plays after this, and I'm going to talk through kind of the build path, what items, the starting items, and what runes you should use, what matchups I think it's pretty decent into. And yeah, so let's get started. So, like I said, the main mythic item is going to be Divine Sunder. Yes, a lot of people think it's kind of troll, but I've played around with it a lot, and I think you should give it a try, especially if you're against like a really tanky top laner. So let's click on this game. So this game I went 15 and 2 in my rank game, and I was against I was actually against Vladimir this game. And if you look at the game on the total damage done, I have like the highest damage done. And as well as if you look at this, a lot of my damage is actually primarily magic. Um, Along with that, my damage taken is actually pretty high. And if you look at this game, I was against Singed. And again, I have like one of the highest damage in the game. And again, magic damage is going to be a lot higher than the physical damage. And the damage taken is going to be also pretty high up there. So let's look at this game. Yep. So if you look at this, highest damage again, I'm against Shen this game. This one, I am against Jax. They did quite a bit of damage, but I'm still like on top of damage. Even in this game here where I lost, um, still did highest damage, almost twice Tom Kench. Looking at this, like I was pretty behind on gold, but we still able to do a ton of damage. So I just wanted to showcase you kind of these games and what my build path is I'm starting off with longsword. So let's look at this. Let's maybe if it shows here. It actually doesn't show here, so let me actually pull up on OP free. Looking at this, I start off with longsword, and let me just give you guys like a sample of this path in the game. This one, pull out here with this shot. So if you look here, I went 14 and 3. This is the one against the Shen game. And my starting item was longsword and 3 pots. The AD actually helps a lot with this, like with your trading. And the pots helps you kind of sustain. Plus, it builds towards Sunder. The next power spike you have is actually your Sheen buy. Once you get Sheen, your trading is a lot better. You should be playing around kind of like your grasp as well. But your next power spec after this, Phage and your Ruby Crystal actually don't really do that much. Same thing with like the Kindle Gem. But your power spike is on kind of Sunder, and you'll be really, really strong. And this is kind of the showcase of one of the builds in this game. And if you look at this one, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but I'm kind of lacking on this one. So you look at this, and if you see here, invited me to game. Gotta just get rid of the notification. So if you look here, 22 and 1 on this one. Same thing, longsword, sheen, power spike. Usually I go Sheen first, and then I go into Divine Sunder or Sork Boots, and then I go into Sterex, and then usually I can go into Death's Dance, Serpent's Fang, Morello's. The enemy has a lot of healing, you want to go Morello's. If they have a lot of burst damage, you're going to want to go Death's Dance. If you want to go Serpents, if the enemy has a shit ton of shields. So, for example, this one, I actually went Serpents after Sterex because they had Shen shields. Bane also had shield belt, and then Rakan shields as well. So let's talk about kind of what other options, like 6 item options, because these games I don't really reach 6 items. So I would get a Morello if the enemy has a lot of healing. I would get a Void Staff if the enemy has a lot of magic. I mean, magic resist. Yeah. So A lot of people are going to look at this build and say, "Why are you building this if you have a full AD team?" So if you look at this specifically, so this game 14-3, I think it was, yeah. If you look at this game specifically, you're going to think I do a lot of physical damage, but as I showed you guys, you actually deal a lot of more magic damage. So this is my physical damage, right? And this is my magic damage. I did twice the magic damage than I did physical, and I only had one AP item. A lot of your damage is actually from your abilities. They scale really well with AD, but they are magic damage. That's why I suggest you, if the enemy has a lot of MR, you want to go like Void Staff. If the enemy has a lot of things that can reveal you in your shroud, like a TF ulti, any like heathers like Karma, Morgana, or like Lee Sin, for example, can also have True Sight or like Rengar. Hourglass is a pretty good option here, but your survivability, you should be able to have a ton of HP from the Overgrowth, which is the Ruin, the Divine Thunder, which is a lot of HP, and then the Sterix as well. So going after that, after you have kind of like your items, what is like your skill building? You're gonna want to start off with Q, max Q, then E, then W. Your runes, you want to go grasp, demolish, overgrowth, and what is it? Conditioning. So grasp, obviously, the laning trades makes your trades with your passive really big. Your demolish is kind of if you hit a lot on towers. Like there are points where I was hitting like 1K with my demolish on towers, money. Conditioning is kind of like your scaling into late game, getting that free like what 14 MR armor and MR or 12 armor and 14 MR I think late game. Yeah, so it says after 12 minutes, gain 9 armor, 9 magic resist, and increase your armor and magic resist by 5%, which is about like 14 and 12 for Akali. And then overgrowth is actually just super big because it's just like infinite scaling with HP, and then it's a big spike once you get the 120 minions absorbed. So yeah, so that's kind of like the ruins, and then for the primary, and then the secondary, you want to go presence of mind and legend tenacity. This is kind of so you can trade with the energy regen, and then if you get a kill, you can still smash your abilities. The tenacity is so you don't get CC locked, and the obvious is kind of you go the adaptive power with either armor if you're against AD, MR if you're against AP champions, and then the 2 adaptive power is just good. Give up. So yeah, that's kind of the ruins, the build. And I would say this works very, very, very well in the top lane. And I would go TP flash. You want to have flash because you don't want to get picked off. It's easy to get you ganked, and you don't want to kind of fall behind. And having flash allows you to catch up to people, especially since you can't one shot them. They can kind of escape. Teleport is kind of like the given. You need that for good macro. You need that if you want to like farm and not fall behind and split. This is a very, very good split pushing build. I've had a lot of success with it as well, splitting. And then grouping in team fights, you're basically unkillable, do a ton of damage. So you're gonna ask me why Sunder? Sunder has a huge spike, plus the scaling of it is because so Sunder, it gives you additional damage after like with your ability after you use an ability, your next attack is enhanced with the basically healing 12% of the target's max health, right? So if you look here, Sunder, after using an ability, your next attack is enhanced with an additional 12% target max health physical damage on hit, and it's a 1.5-second cooldown. So you're gonna get to practice a lot. And you also the mythic passive, it scales because your armor pen and magic pen. And you don't really have to go void staff immediately. You don't have to get any like last whisper or anything like that. You shouldn't go last whisper at all. But the minimum damage as well helps you in case you're really ahead. Yeah. And then the max damage is if you're like against tanks and stuff. It really hits like a truck. So that's why I go Sunder. Why short boots? All your abilities deal magic damage. You need this magic pen. That's just a given. Akali always goes short boots now. So why Stairs Gauge? You get that HP, you get that survivability, but you also get that AD, the AD components that really, really help you deal more damage, auto more, like your autos hit more, your ability scale more, and also your grasp also does magic damage. Deal bonus magic damage equal to 4% of your max health. All of these HP items make your grasp even stronger. Pair that with overgrowth makes that even better. So I decided to go Doran's Blade in this one game because I was kind of like testing and I felt like the Omnivamp was kind of necessary, but it's not as needed. So yeah, that's that game. And then I go Death's Dance in this game because they have a lot of damage, like AD, the Corki, the Lucian, the Zin, lots of AD damage, and going Death's Dance, and then I got Negatron for LeBlanc and Singe. Very big, very, very big, and kind of like surviving. Because I already deal quite a bit amount of damage. And then there's one game where I'm against like Shen, so I go into Serpent's Fang in this game because Shen's shielding. Uh, Vayne has shield bow. Then Rakan has shields as well. So reducing like this item is with dealing damage to an enemy reduces their shield they gain by 50%. And if you hit them while they have a shield, you reduce it by 50%. This is actually huge, especially if no one's building it on your team. So that's kind of like the build, and I would say the most optimal 6 item setup would probably be Divine Sunderer into. So let's see if I could actually pull up like an itemizer. Items. Items. Get this item. Okay. So I'm gonna go Sunder. I'm gonna start off with Longsword. I'm gonna go Sunder, rush this item. Then I'm gonna go Short Boots, right? I want to finish off my boots and go Short Boots. And then Stairs Gauge is a huge item. And I would go Serpent's Fang if they have a lot of shields. And then I would go Morello's if they have a lot of healing, right? And then optional items is like Death's Dance if they have if they're very, very heavy in damage. This is physical damage. Um, and then Wit's End is also a really good option, or Banshees. I would actually prefer Wit's End because you're going to be autoing a lot too, and you want to have smooth like autos. You don't want to cancel any autos. Void Staff is if they're really, really heavy in MR, but you're not going to really need it because Sunder already gives you 5% magic pen per legendary item you have, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 legendary items. So it's going to be 20% anyways. But if you add this on, you'll be have like shit ton of magic pen, so like 40 to 6%. But if you like, usually your build will look something like this: reduce shields, reduce healing, tankiness, and then the 6th item is going to be one of these. If they have a lot of magic damage, you want to get that magic damage. If they have a lot of physical damage, you're going to get Death's Dance. If they had a lot of MR, you're going to actually get Void Staff. So yeah, that's kind of like the build. And the kind of play style it is you're gonna want to play safely in lane until you get the Divine Sunder or Power Spike. You like your Sheen is your first Power Spike, like I said, and then your second Power Spike is right when you get Sunder. You can actually like shit on your laner. You really, really, really want to get this item before you look for fights. Tell your jungler to not gank you if it's gonna be a 2v2. Like tell your jungler to just let you farm. Just farm, farm, farm. The games I've lost are the ones my jungler didn't let me farm. The games I won are the ones that the games I stomped and won are the ones that I was able to actually farm and get my mythic item, right? So like these games, all of them, I didn't get a single gank until I had my items. And that just goes to show you how good like being able to scale and how good this build is, because you can actually literally just carry. Like look at my team here. I don't think only 1%, 2 people have a positive KDA here. But you're just able to literally 1v9 games. Look at this. Actually just 1v9 in these games. right? And the average tier is master in these. Average tier rank is master, and you're able to actually 1v9 these games. So that's kind of it for the build. The starting item, the ruins, the summoners, the playstyle. Like I said, play safe, get your Sheen, get your Sunder, and you can look to split. You can look to group. But this has a really good team fight potential. This it's hard for them to one shot you. This has a really good split potential as well. I've done both in my games. Overall, this is really rounded. This does a lot of damage, has high survivability. I think this actually build is going to make Akali really good. So, and you're not going to kind of believe me. I've showed you that it does a lot of magic damage, so it's still good to go, even if you have all AD. Like, you're still going to do primary magic damage. Along with that is you're going to see some plays. I'm going to show you guys some plays now, and it's gonna show you how strong this build really is. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Twitch or Discord. The link to my Twitch is down below. The link to my Discord is down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for the support as always. And I'm gonna show some plays now. So peace. Also, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I forgot to say that. Hi again. Here are some plays now. Oh, you're all dead. You're all dead. We actually win. Let's fucking go! Okay, yeah, we banned here. No fucking way. I'm actually fucking popping off. Wait, that's a real LeBlanc! Yeah! Where's my penta?
Turret plating will soon fall.
Dude. Ew, let's fucking go! That was actually so good.
Wow, my whatever the fuck this thing is did a lot of damage. What the fuck is this build? He's building a fucking wit's end. Huh. Cool.